Hello and welcome to another session of the English Great Stories channel, where we dive deep into the world of self-improvement, personal growth, and lifelong learning. Whether you're a longtime listener or tuning in for the first time, I want to extend a warm welcome to each of you. In today's fast-paced world, taking the time to enrich our minds and spirits is more important than ever, and that's exactly what we aim to do here on this podcast. Provide you with insights, tips, and inspiration to help you grow and improve in every area of your life. Today's session is especially close to my heart because we're going to talk about something that's crucial for anyone learning a new language: how to improve English listening skills. Whether you're an English learner looking to refine your skills or a native speaker who wants to enhance your comprehension, today's discussion will provide you with valuable strategies and insights to make your journey smoother and more effective. Now, before we dive into the details, I'd like to share a bit about the journey that led me here. You see, my passion for language learning started at a young age. I remember sitting in my room, listening to English songs, watching movies, and struggling to understand what was being said. The frustration of not being able to grasp the meaning of the words drove me to find ways to improve my listening skills. Over the years, I discovered methods and techniques that made a significant difference, not just in understanding the language, but in truly connecting with it. And that's what I'm here to share with you today: practical tips and proven strategies that can help you improve your English listening skills no matter where you are on your learning journey. So let's take a moment to relax, get comfortable, and prepare to embark on this journey together. Whether you're listening at home, during your commute, or while taking a walk, know that this time is for you. It's a time to learn, to grow, and to take steps towards becoming a more confident and capable English speaker. 1. The importance of listening in language learning. Let's start by discussing why listening is such a crucial component of language learning. Listening is often overlooked in favor of speaking, reading, or writing, but it's actually the foundation upon which all other skills are built. Think about it. How did you learn your first language? As a child, you spent years listening to the people around you before you ever uttered your first word. Listening is the gateway to understanding pronunciation, intonation, rhythm, and the nuances of a language. Without strong listening skills, it's difficult to develop accurate speaking abilities or to fully comprehend what you read or hear. Now let's consider some real-world examples to illustrate this point. Imagine you're in a conversation with a native English speaker and they use a phrase you've never heard before. If your listening skills are strong, you'll be able to pick up on context clues, tone of voice, and other subtle cues that will help you understand the meaning, even if you don't know every word. On the other hand, if your listening skills are weak, you might miss these cues and struggle to keep up with the conversation. This can lead to misunderstandings and a lack of confidence, which can hinder your progress in learning the language. Statistics show that individuals who focus on improving their listening skills tend to perform better in other areas of language learning as well. For example, a study conducted by the University of Cambridge found that students who regularly engaged in active listening exercises scored an average of 25% higher on speaking and writing assessments compared to those who did not. This clearly demonstrates the interconnectedness of language skills and the pivotal role that listening plays in overall language proficiency. 2. Techniques for improving English listening skills. Now that we've established the importance of listening, let's delve into some practical techniques that you can use to improve your English listening skills. A. Active listening. One of the most effective ways to improve your listening skills is through active listening. This means fully engaging with the audio material you're listening to rather than just passively hearing it. Active listening involves focusing on the content, analyzing the speaker's pronunciation, intonation, and speech patterns, and making a conscious effort to understand and retain the information being presented. For instance, let's say you're listening to an English podcast. Instead of just letting the words wash over you, try to break down what the speaker is saying. Pay attention to how they pronounce certain words, how they stress particular syllables, and how their tone changes depending on the context. If you come across a word or phrase you don't understand, pause the audio and look it up. This process of active engagement will not only improve your comprehension, but also help you internalize the language more effectively. Another concrete example of active listening is taking notes while listening. This might seem like a simple technique, but it can make a world of difference. When you take notes, you're forcing yourself to process the information more deeply, which enhances your understanding and retention. Over time, this practice can lead to significant improvements in your listening abilities. B. Listening to a variety of English accents. English is a global language, and as such, it comes in many different accents. From British to American, Australian to Indian, each accent has its own unique characteristics. One of the challenges that English learners often face is understanding different accents, especially if they're only exposed to one type of English. To overcome this challenge, it's important to expose yourself to a variety of English accents. This can be done through a range of media, such as movies, TV shows, podcasts, and even YouTube videos. For example, if you're used to listening to American English, try watching a British TV series like Sherlock or The Crown. Pay attention to how the pronunciation differs from what you're used to, and try to adapt your listening skills accordingly. A long-term study conducted by the British Council found that learners who regularly listened to multiple English accents were 30% more likely to achieve advanced listening proficiency compared to those who only listened to one accent. This is because exposure to different accents helps to train your ear to recognize and understand the diverse sounds and patterns of the English language. C. Using subtitles and transcripts. When you're trying to improve your listening skills, subtitles and transcripts can be incredibly helpful tools. Watching English videos with subtitles allows you to follow along with the dialogue, helping you to connect the spoken words with their written form. This can be particularly useful when you're trying to understand fast speech or unfamiliar accents. For example, let's say you're watching an English movie and the characters are speaking quickly. By turning on subtitles, you can ensure that you don't miss any important details. This can also help you learn new vocabulary, as you'll be able to see the words in context and understand their meaning more clearly. Similarly, transcripts can be a valuable resource when listening to podcasts or audiobooks. Many podcasts provide transcripts of their episodes, which you can use to follow along as you listen. This not only improves your comprehension, but also allows you to see how certain words and phrases are used in context. 3. The role of practice and consistency. Improving your English listening skills is not something that happens overnight. It requires consistent practice and dedication. The more you expose yourself to the language, the more familiar it will become and the easier it will be to understand. A. Setting realistic goals. One of the keys to successful language learning is setting realistic goals. Instead of aiming to become fluent overnight, focus on small, achievable milestones. For example, you might set a goal to listen to 30 minutes of English audio every day. Over time, these small efforts will add up, leading to significant improvements in your listening skills. B. Incorporating English listening into your daily routine. Another effective strategy is to incorporate English listening into your daily routine. This could be as simple as listening to an English podcast during your morning commute, watching an English TV show in the evening, or even playing English music while you're cooking or exercising. The key is to make English listening a regular part of your life, so it becomes a habit rather than a chore. For instance, let's say you have a 30-minute commute to work each day. Instead of listening to music in your native language, try listening to an English podcast or audiobook. Over the course of a week, that's 2.5 hours of English listening practice without even having to carve out extra time in your day. 4. Overcoming common challenges. While improving your English listening skills is definitely achievable, it's not without its challenges. Let's discuss some common obstacles that learners face and how to overcome them. A. Difficulty understanding fast speech. One of the most common challenges is understanding fast speech. Native speakers often speak quickly, and this can be overwhelming for learners. The key to overcoming this challenge is to start slow and gradually increase the difficulty level. For example, you might begin by listening to English content that is specifically designed for learners, such as slow-paced news broadcasts or educational videos. As your listening skills improve, you can start to challenge yourself with more complex and fast-paced material. B. Dealing with unfamiliar vocabulary. Another challenge is dealing with unfamiliar vocabulary. It's inevitable that you'll come across words and phrases you don't understand, especially if you're listening to content that's above your current level. Instead of getting discouraged, use this as an opportunity to learn. Whenever you encounter an unfamiliar word, take the time to look it up and understand its meaning. You might also consider keeping a vocabulary journal where you can jot down new words and review them regularly. This practice not only helps you expand your vocabulary, but also reinforces your listening skills. 5. Conclusion and final thoughts. As we come to the end of today's session, I want to take a moment to recap some of the key points we've discussed. Improving your English listening skills is a journey that requires patience, practice, and consistency. By focusing on active listening, exposing yourself to a variety of accents, using subtitles and transcripts, and setting realistic goals, you can make significant progress in your language learning journey. Remember, the most important thing is to stay motivated and enjoy the process. Language learning is not just about reaching a destination, it's about the experiences and growth you gain along the way. So embrace the challenge, keep practicing, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every step you take brings you closer to your goal of becoming a more confident and proficient English speaker. Thank you so much for joining me today on this great session. I hope you found this session helpful and that you're feeling inspired to take your English listening skills to the next level. If you enjoyed this session, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing it with a friend who might benefit from it. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, every effort you make today is a seed for your future success. Take care, and I'll see you in the next session.